got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Welcome. Let me get a little more comfortable here. Sorry, using an older mic. Welcome back to another episode of Ministry of Truth. I am your number one host on this show, Javi, and wow, that was quick. Anyway, what I got for you today, it's Joe Biden had a little press conference yesterday, so we're going to go over that. It was not press conference, it was an address from the Oval Office. Thank you, Yeti. They absolutely are. Along with Joe Biden's address to the nations, we're also going to have a joint address to the House and the Senate, minus the president and vice president, by a war criminal named Benjamin Netanyahu. Don't know why he was allowed to come to our Senate and pretty much have like a State of the Union for Israel, in which he basically didn't say anything, but looked like he wanted to start a war and he needs the U.S. for it. Then after that, we're going to go over some border czar issues and how Kamala Harris definitely got a slap in the face today from the House of Representatives, and 6 Democrats within the House of Representatives condemning her action as the border czar. What that means from here, I don't fucking know. So your guess is as good as mine. But before we get into anything, Marjorie Taylor Greene ended up being a video girl the other day. Not the other day. 2 days ago. She's out a video and a song. So we'll start off with, obviously, we're going to play that song once I find out where it's at.
Even Joe Biden, the president himself, supports children being sexualized and having transgender surgeries. Sexualizing children is what pedophiles do to children.
MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. Democrats get back. Boom. Reporters even get slapped. They spreading all these rumors because Marjorie be spitting big
she
facts.
can get it in it.
Deep state and the left always hating. When they gonna let Joe about that basement? Marjorie, I really love what you do. Keep calling Ronalds out. No one does it better than you, huh? A real businesswoman, AOC's a featherweight. A Southern belle, a little hood. Watch her shake and bake. Divorce, that's all y'all got to bring up. Yeah, watch her drain the swamp cause she know they corrupt. She's fighting for our children. She's fighting for our freedom. She's fighting for the Jan 6. She's fighting good versus evil. MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. MTG, Mega's MVP. She's a boss. She don't rock with trans Tifa cause they soft. Them liberal tears can't save you, wipe them off. You know we reppin' 45, he never lost. Watch a real Georgia Peach go and set it off.
But I think what upsets me the most, Benny, is the fact that everyone in Washington has known about the Biden crimes for a very long time, and they've done nothing about it. But yet regular Americans, they go to jail if they don't pay their taxes. They go to jail if they walk in the Capitol.
There is Marjorie Taylor Greene and her introduction into the rap world. Just kidding. I don't think she really needed. What are you doing? I'm not done. But hey, to each their own. She's in the video. She's looking smoking hot for an older lady. So it's kind of cool, I guess. There we go. Anyway, yeah, it's all grainy because I have the light off and I really don't feel like turning it on. So first clip we're gonna get to today is obviously Joe Biden in his or his Oval Office meeting from yesterday. Watching it last night, it didn't even look like he was there. He looked scared. He didn't even look like Joe Biden. What I noticed a lot is the longer the brief went, his chin started to disappear and created a little dimple. And maybe I'm just overseeing it. Maybe because I know the CIA will make masks. But let's get to this and see what Joe Biden had to say last night about him dropping out.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight
His upper
from
lip.
behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents. Thomas Jefferson wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice.
And was shot.
Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more.
Wait to hear the lies.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy?
None of which we have
In
right
this
now.
moment, we can see those we disagree with not as
Right, Zip.
enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions because I know you, the American people. And I know this, we are a great nation because we are good people. When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
The truth. The sacred cause of this country is larger than any one of us. And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, a cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me
What's up, Sabby?
I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor.
Why not
I
unite the
believe-
country?
My record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition.
Thank you, Bill. Holy shit,
So I've
Bill
decided
Evans.
the best way forward
Thank fucking God more people know that. What's up, Triple C?
is to pass the torch to a new generation. It's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience in public life. There's also a time and a place for new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep
6 months left in office, and he says he's going to do his job as the president. Joe? Even though I don't like Israel or the prime minister, what you did and what Harris did yesterday was highly disrespectful to a world leader. And I don't think the rest of the world sees that.
defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism. Make it clear there is no place in America for political violence or any violence ever,
There
period.
you go.
I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence, our planet from climate crisis that is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it.
Moonshot?
I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform.
Well, first of all, Supreme Court is supposed to be apolitical. And how are you going to reform it? You want to reform it to where it works for politicians or the people? Granted, they're supposed to be apolitical, but guess what? We know they are. And it's quite obvious. So, what's the issue? Make sure they're not lifetime appointments. How about that? We could reform that. Put term limits on justices as well. As we should do all people in Senate, Congress.
No, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong, secure, and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world. We'll keep rallying a coalition.
We are not at war anywhere in the world. Then why do we have troops deployed still to the Middle East? Would you like to explain that one? Why do we have troops deployed to the Eastern Europe area? What about that? What about the troops we have in the Philippines fighting Abu Sayyaf right as we speak? Does that not count? Because that's still part of the global war on terrorism. So we're not at war right now, guys. Remember that.
Of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine, doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history.
Sounds like a one-world government.
I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to office, the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working to end the war in Gaza, bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war.
That's cute. Yet he missed the address by the Israeli prime minister. You know, they're supposed to be good buddies. By the way, Trump's going to meet with him on Friday. Today or Friday at Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't mean I have to agree with it.
We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world. You know, we've come so far since my inauguration. On that day, I told you, as I stood in that winter, we stood in a winter of peril.
You mean the dark winter?
A winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities. We were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression.
Look at the chin.
The worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War.
Slowly disappearing.
We came together as Americans. We got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure. Today we have the strongest economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record. Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down.
16 million jobs, a new record.
The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America. We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation. We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors.
Oh, you beat them.
And I'm going to keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors. More people have health care today in America than ever before.
Even back when Obama?
I signed one of the most significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials You know,
Bro, I've tried getting on that fucking list because they owe it to me. Every time I get to that fucking website to report it, it's down. So that's a fucking horse shit.
most significant climate law ever in the history of the world. The first major gun safety law in 30 years.
What?
Today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low.
That's the biggest thing I wanted to pull out of this. Violent crime rate in the United States is at a 50-year low. Where's he getting this statistic from? Is he getting it from, I don't know, like a small little town in East Georgia? I don't know.
We're also securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office. I've kept my commitment to appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
You hear that? The first black woman. Why does race matter, Joe? I don't see, a Viking as a Supreme Court justice. What's up with that? I don't see an island kid. Well, can't be a kid to be a Supreme Court justice. But I don't see Islander up there. But I don't complain. I don't fucking care. Unlike certain races. Be oppressed.
I also
That's
kept
all
my
you got.
commitment to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all Americans. That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago because I believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake. The very nature of who we are was at stake. And that's still the case. America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident. We're all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights.
All men are created
Life,
equal, leader,
liberty,
right?
pursuit of happiness.
Can't change it just because you want
We've
to.
never fully lived up to it, to this sacred idea, but we've never walked away from it either. And I do not believe the American people will walk away from it now. In just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known.
What's
I'd
up,
like to thank
Torvald?
our
Happy
great
Meth
Vice
Day.
President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an incredible partner to me and a leader for our country. Now the choice is up to you, the American people.
I packed this bitch.
You make
too.
that choice. Remember the words of Benjamin Franklin hanging on my wall here in the Oval Office, alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he emerged
What up,
from
Dom?
the convention going on, whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was, a republic, if you can keep it.
What was that?
A republic, if you can keep it. Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands. My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life to serve this nation for over 50 years. Nowhere else on earth could a kid with a stutter, from modest beginnings in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Claymont, Delaware, one day sit behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office as President of the United States. But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities, of dreamers and doers, of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. I've given my heart and my soul to our nation, like so many others. I've been blessed a million times in return with the love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you. The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule, the people do. History is in your hands. The power is in your
we
hands.
can fight back.
The idea of America lies in your hands. We just have to keep faith, keep the faith. And remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's simply nothing beyond our capacity and we do it together. So let's act together. Preserve our democracy. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you can see the teleprompter, same as he did the other day. Joe, though, for real. I wish somewhere within all that video, like Joe was like, you know what? I'm not gonna make up some bullshit. Unfortunately, oh shit. Sorry, it was a hair wash day. Unfortunately, there's people out there that believe that bullshit, and they're still gonna believe it because they're vote blue no matter who. Vote minority, black woman, or you're a racist misogynist. Okay. I'm neither one, but if that's what you want to call me, fuck it. Maybe I'm a misogynist, just a little bit. Kind of have to when you're actually a masculine male, but that doesn't make sense because not a lot of the people in this community seem to be masculine. Or male. Just kidding. Just kidding. Am I, though? How many of you have penises that aren't supposed to? Oh, and I guess yesterday I made somebody mad because I have how do I say this? I don't give a shit. You guys know that from me from day one, and you've listened to me, you know I don't censor shit, and I say exactly what the fuck is on my mind. And if I'm gonna play a song that says gay people are pedophiles, right, I didn't say all gay people are pedophiles, but there are pedophiles that are gay. And there are pedophiles that watch gay porn on their hidden laptops and phones. Sick fuck. Right, Dom? Right. But anyway, not gonna change. And if you don't like me, I have no problem dropping subscribers. Because you know what? I don't get paid to do videos. Oh, that's good. Sour as fuck. Anyway, so the next video we're going to get to is Benjamin Netanyahu addressing, yes, there is a short bus. Benjamin Netanyahu addressing a joint Senate or joint Congress committee meeting, where he goes on like he's trying to give an American State of the Union address. We get to, meet some Israeli soldiers. So that was fun because I really cared about that. The whole time I thought this motherfucker was going to be like, I don't drink. It's an energy drink. Well, the first 5 minutes, I'm like, fuck, man, this dude's going to get us into a war. I was worried like the whole time, and he started getting closer and more talking about Israel. I'm like, oh, fuck, we're going to war. Which would still be a possibility. Because he's still got, 6 months? Let's listen to what this douche nozzle has to say. And look how they're so fucking ecstatic to get this motherfucker and shake his hand.
Prime Minister of the State of Israel.
What was that meme I put up the other day? Well, I wouldn't say that I'm pro-Semitic. Anybody get that? It's from Office Space. Just imagine a scene from Office Space. Sitting in a chair talking to the two mics. I think it's the two mics. To Dave. Whatever. Office Space is a classic. Nope. I want to shake his hand. I'm so cool. Oh, I'm shaking his hand. Oh my god. You're a fucking kidding. Congressman. Oh, shit. Oh, we want more money. We got you. Thank you. Wait. Yeah. Thank you. Keep on. Wait, there is really. Never mind. Wrong word. So the other guy that's standing next to Johnson, that motherfucker's retiring. He could care less about what's going on. Why do you have a yellow ribbon?
Members of Congress, I now have the high privilege and distinct honor of presenting to you His Excellency Benjamin Netanyahu.
So, breaking news. Shortly after we watch this video, we're going to watch Joe Biden meeting with Bibi today. So he met with him. Good. Let's see if it's the same Joe Biden.
Prime Minister of Israel.
Look at Cory Booker trying to look all tough. My fellow Americans.
Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, Senator Ben Cardin, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell,
Gay.
Senators, members of Congress, distinguished guests.
I kind of thought they were going to
Mr. Speaker,
at some point.
I want to thank you for giving me the profound honor of addressing this great citadel of democracy for the fourth time.
You're not a democracy, you cockbag.
We meet today at a crossroads.
What up, Bat Mom? Good to see you.
Our world is in upheaval. In the Middle East, Iran's axis of terror confronts America, Israel, and our Arab friends. This is not a clash of civilizations.
It's a clash of clans.
It's a clash between barbarism and civilization.
My bad.
It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel
That mom's probably got
must
her hair
stand
braided
together.
today in pigtails. What's up, John? He's actually in a suit.
Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose. And my friends, I came to assure you today of one thing: we will win.
Who's we? We're not in on a fight. What a bunch of fucking sheep.
Ladies and gentlemen, like December 7th, 1941, and September 11th, 2001, October 7th is a day that will forever live in infamy.
For who?
It was the Jewish holiday of Simchat Torah. It began as a perfect day, not a cloud in the sky. Thousands of young Israelis were celebrating at an outdoor music festival. And suddenly, at 6:29 a.m., as children were still sleeping soundly in their beds in the towns and kibbutzim next to Gaza, suddenly heaven turned into hell.
What up, Dub?
3,000 Hamas terrorists stormed into Israel.
3,000? I
Butchered
thought it was 1,700.
1,200 people from 41 countries, including 39 Americans. Proportionately, compared to our population size, that's like 20 9/11s in one day. And these monsters, they raped women, they beheaded men, they burned babies alive, they killed parents in front of their children,
Kind of like the IDF?
and children in front of their parents. They dragged 255 people, both living and dead, into the dark dungeons of Gaza. Israel has already brought home 135 of these hostages, including 7 who were freed in daring rescue operations.
Although he did bring a lot of hottie with him.
One of those freed hostages, Noor Gamani, is here in the gallery, sitting near my wife, Sarah. On the morning
There she is. She's fucking tall, though. It makes me look short. Well, kinda am. Average? Nah, fuck you guys. What up, girl?
On the morning of October 7th, the entire world saw Noah's look
I
of
think that's what we're doing
desperation
today, short bus.
as she was violently abducted to Gaza on the back of a motorcycle. I met Noah's mother, Leora, a few months ago. She was dying of cancer. She said to me, "Prime Minister, I have one final wish. I wish to hug my daughter Noah one last time before I die." 2 months ago, I authorized a breathtaking commando rescue operation. Our special forces, including a heroic officer named Arnon Zmora, who fell in this battle, rescued Noah and 3 other hostages.
Listen, we don't do that DEI shit here. Okay? Calm down. Calm down. Short bus, stop being a bitch. See? Short bus got thick skin. I hope. Zippity's back. How was the cat?
Noah, I think it's one of the most moving things. When Noah was reunited with her mother, Leora, and her mother's last wish came true. Noah, we're so thrilled to have you with us today. Thank you. Many hostage families are also here with us today, including
Look again, he
Eliyahu
smiled
Bibas.
and laughed. Relax,
Eliyahu
relax,
Bibas
Tom.
is the grandfather of those two beautiful red-headed boys, the Bibas boys, toddlers.
Why are you calling them
And they
beautiful?
were
It's
taken
weird.
hostage with their mother and and Eliyahu's son. The entire family was taken hostage. Two beautiful red-haired children taken hostage. What monsters.
Yo, there's a point in his speech where I have no idea where that came from or if it's true, but it makes perfect sense in modern history today. Short bus. Do you need some super glue to put it together, or would you like some sutures? Deeper the cut, probably sutures. I can do both.
And with us also is Iris Chaim, whose son Yotam bravely escaped Hamas captivity with two other Israelis, and tragically they were
Oh,
killed,
it gets worse,
making
Dub.
their way back to our lines. We have with us also the families of American hostages. They're here.
You want staples? I can do those too. I might actually have my staple gun still here. Like, legit medical staples. Look at that fat
The
guy.
pain these families have endured is beyond words. I met with them again yesterday, and I promised them this: I will not rest until all their loved ones are home, all of them. As we speak, we're actively engaged in intensive efforts to secure their release, and I'm confident that these efforts can succeed. Some of them are taking place right now.
Are they?
I want to thank President Biden for his tireless efforts on behalf of the hostages and for his efforts to the hostage families as well.
Bro, he doesn't even know who Israel is. He thinks it's a person.
I thank President Biden for his heartfelt support for Israel after the savage attack on October 7th. He rightly called Hamas sheer evil. He dispatched 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East to deter a wider war. And he came to Israel to stand with us during our darkest hour, a visit that will never be forgotten.
Did he go to the wall? Did he touch the wall?
President Biden and I have known each other for over 40 years. I want to thank him for half a century of friendship to Israel and for being, as he says, a proud Zionist. Actually, he says a proud Irish-American Zionist. My friends, for more than 9 months, Israel's soldiers have shown boundless courage. With us today,
No, every time they're up there, they stand.
Is Lieutenant Avichai Reuven.
It's basically looking like an Israeli State of the Union address that, oh, we don't have enough people to do it in our country and they won't agree with us, so can we come over there and let me do it? I'll bring some people. Thanks. Thanks.
Avichai is an officer in the Israeli paratroopers. His
This dude's a
family
Muslim.
immigrated to Israel from Ethiopia.
I could tell by looking at him.
In the early hours of October 7th, Avichai heard the news of Hamas's bloody rampage. He put on his uniform, grabbed his rifle, but he didn't have a car.
Really?
So he ran 8 miles to the front lines of Gaza to defend his people. You heard that right? He ran 8 miles, came to the front lines, killed many terrorists, and saved many, many lives. Avichai, we all honor your remarkable heroism. Another Israeli is with us here today, and he's stand up right next to Avichai. This is Master Sergeant Ashraf al-Bakhiri. Ashraf is a Bedouin soldier from the Israeli Muslim community of Raat. On October 7th, Ashraf too killed many terrorists. First, he defended his comrades in the military base, and he then rushed to defend the neighboring communities, including the devastated community of Kibbutz Be'eri. Like Ashraf,
I think he did.
Like Ashraf, the Muslim soldiers of the IDF fought alongside their Jewish, Druze, Christian, and other comrades in arms with
Jewish and
tremendous
Jews are two
bravery.
different things.
A third hero, Lieutenant Asa Sofer, is also here with us.
He does not want to be there. He looks sleepy.
Asa fought as an officer in the Tank Corps, and he was wounded in battle. He was wounded in battle while protecting his fellow soldiers from a grenade. He lost his right arm and the vision in his left eye. He's recovering, and incredibly, within a short time, Asa will soon return to active duty as a commander of a tank company.
Why the fuck are you using tanks in an urban situation?
I just learned there is a fourth hero here, Lieutenant Jonathan Ben Chamo, who lost a leg in Gaza and continued to fight.
How did you not know there was somebody there? You literally brought them with you. Does he have a fake leg, or is he just really good at balancing?
My friends, these are the soldiers of Israel, unbowed, undaunted, unafraid.
Are these the same soldiers that were destroying hospitals, blowing up shelters and tents and all that other stuff? Are those the same soldiers? Hey, you guys need to go south, you'll be safer. And then they attack the living areas down in Rafah Crossing? Did you forget about that?
As the Bible says, Am kelavi yakum. They
What?
shall rise like lions. They have risen like lions. The lions of Judah, the lions of Israel.
What are y'all looking at? It's almost like they're staring at people to
Ladies
get
and
up and
gentlemen,
clap.
the men and women of the IDF come from every corner of Israeli society, every ethnicity, every color, every creed, left
For
or
some reason, I can't remember her name, but the lady that played the Wonder Woman in the movies, she was IDF personnel,
right,
but still IDF.
religious and secular. All are imbued with the indomitable spirit of the Maccabees, the legendary Jewish warriors of antiquity. With us today is Yechiel Leiter, the father of one of those Maccabees. Yechiel's father escaped the Holocaust and found refuge in America. As a young man, Yechiel moved to Israel and raised a family of 8 children. He named his eldest son Moshe after his late father. Moshe became an exemplary officer in one of our elite commando units.
Yeah,
He served
Laura.
with distinction for 2
Like I said,
decades.
Gal Gadot. Oh my! And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Some of the IDF women, oh my god, they're gorgeous. They're like models. But yeah, it's a mandatory service in Israel.
While raising 6 beautiful children of his own. On October 7th, Moshe volunteered to return to combat. 4 weeks later, he was killed when a booby-trapped mine exploded in a tunnel shaft right next to a mosque. At his son's funeral, Yechiel said this: "If the state of Israel had not been established after the Holocaust, the image engraved in our collective memory would have been the photograph of that helpless Jewish boy in the Warsaw Ghetto holding his hands up in the air with Nazi rifles pointed at him. But because of the birth of Israel," Yechiel continued, "because of the courage of soldiers like my son Moshe, the Jewish people are no longer helpless in the face of our enemies."
Oh, they're on the lower gallery.
Yechiel, please rise so we can honor your son's sacrifice. And I pledge to you and to all the bereaved families of Israel, some of whom are in this hall today, the sacrifice of your loved ones will not be in vain.
Rafa. Rafa is one of the biggest lies the Israeli government, the U.S. government, and the mainstream media is telling you. They weren't attacking Hamas and Rafah, making sure all civilians were safe. Yeah, I am. Both of the government. I'm against Israel and Palestine. You know why? Because they're attacking the wrong people. They're not attacking military forces. They're attacking innocent women and children. And when they die, they're collateral damage. Like their life doesn't matter. If they left the women and children out of it and kept it strictly to combat, I wouldn't have an issue. But they don't seem to care about collateral damage, just like the United States, which is another reason I am anti-war. But that collateral damage should not be there. So don't think I'm pro-Palestinian. I'm far from it. Good job, B-Boy. What's up, my brother?
It will not be in vain, because for Israel, never again must never be an empty promise. It must always remain a sacred vow. And after October 7th, never again is now.
Who the fuck is Chuckle? Kamala Harris?
My friends, defeating our brutal enemies requires both courage and clarity.
Are you savvy by chance? No, I'm just curious because I haven't been asked that question. I thought I was pretty clear on that a couple months ago.
Clarity begins by knowing the difference between good and evil. Yet incredibly, Many anti-Israel protesters, many choose to stand with evil. They stand with Hamas. They stand with rapists and murderers. They stand with people who came into the kibbutzim, into a home. The parents hid the children, the 2 babies, in the attic, in a secret attic. They murdered the families, the parents. They found the secret latch to the hidden attic, and then they murder the babies. These protesters stand with them. They should be ashamed of themselves. They refuse to make the simple distinction between those who target terrorists and those who target civilians, between the democratic state.
Look who's fucking talking, you stupid fuck. You're targeting children. You don't differentiate. Get the fuck out of here. It's like Joe Biden trying to say, we're at a 50-year low in violent crimes.
Of Israel and the terrorist thugs of Hamas. We recently learned from the National Security Director, U.S. Director of National Intelligence, that Iran is funding and
unfortunately,
promoting
the people we have running for office
in America. They want to
all
disrupt
support
America.
Israel.
So these
Minus
protesters
Harris.
burn American flags even on the 4th of July. And I wish to salute the fraternity brothers at the University of North Carolina who protected the American flag against these anti-Israel protesters.
Well, wait till I show you what happened in D.C. Fuck Israel. Oh.
For all we know, Iran is
Where's
funding
that at?
the anti.
Short bus comment. 100% pro-American. And apparently, like I said, I've been this politically all my life. And my parents, I thought they didn't know me. And this was fucking before we stopped talking. They bought me this shirt when I was 17 that says, I love my country, but I can't stand my government. And that has been me my entire life. Isn't it amazing? Stay true.
Israel protests that are going on right now outside this building, not that many, but they're there, and throughout the city. Well,
Don't worry, I'll show you what happened outside. Not outside, but
when
Union
the
City.
tyrants of Tehran, who hang gays from cranes and murder women for not covering their hair, are praising, promoting, and funding you, you have officially become Iran's useful idiots.
You know, I rarely ever agree with this lady. At this point, I did. No fucks given. Take off the Palestinian flag, though, but with her sign, I agree.
Some of these protesters.
Laura, your government's way worse than ours. It's proven. You guys are already socialist.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Do they have KFCs in Israel?
These protesters chant from the river to the sea, but many don't have a clue what river and what sea they're talking about. They not only get an F in geography, they get an F in history. They call Israel a colonialist state.
It was.
Don't they know that the land of Israel is where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob prayed, where Isaiah and Jeremiah preached, and where David and Solomon ruled?
You know, the one thing I loved KFC as a kid, but the more older I got and the way the quality went down, man, you order X crispy, get home, that shit ain't crispy at all. Period. What up, Carmen?
For nearly four
It's funny, every time I see your name, that's the city I got married in, was called Carmen.
4,000 years, the land of Israel has been the homeland of the Jewish people. It's always been our home. It will always be our home.
He's Gabby knows.
It's not only the campus protesters who get it wrong. It's also the people who run those campuses. 80 years after the Holocaust, 80 years after the Holocaust, the
You better hurry up while Trump or Biden's still in office.
And I'm ashamed to say my alma mater, MIT, couldn't bring themselves to condemn the calls for the genocide of Jews. You remember what they said?
I don't know so much how the Japanese fried chicken tastes, but in Korea has, I'm not gonna lie, they probably have some of the best fried chicken. What it's down to what the spices they put in, and they fry it in sesame oil. Sesame oil gives it this amazing fucking taste. I don't know why, but I love it, and I tend to use it too. Even though I'm not real Asian, I'm Pacific Islander, but I use it sometimes. Sesame oil is shit great, but it's expensive as fuck over here for some reason.
They said, it depends on the context. Well, let me give these befuddled academics a little context. Anti-Semitism is the world's oldest hatred.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm
For centuries, the
pro-Semitic.
massacre of Jews was always preceded by wild accusations.
Listen.
We were
Whoo! If this is the accusation he's going to bring up first, I want you to pay very close attention to it and why I said now it makes total fucking sense when you look at Hollywood and all that shit.
accused of everything from poisoning wells to spreading plagues to using the blood of slaughtered children.
Y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I've never heard that. Maybe I'm just... Oh my god, I just look like Kurt doing that. Fuck me. Jollibee's is actually named the best chicken place in America. And it's Filipino. But let's rewind that. Talking about using the blood of children in their food.
To spreading plagues, to using the blood of slaughtered children to bake Passover matzahs.
Does that not fucking strike anybody as odd? Considering I just said they were murdering innocent children and women in Gaza? Fuck. Crazy, man.
These preposterous anti-Semitic lies led to persecution, mass murder, and ultimately to history's worst genocide, the Holocaust. Now, just as malicious lies were leveled for centuries at the Jewish people, malicious lies are now being leveled at the Jewish state. No, don't applaud.
Okay.
Listen. The outrageous slanders that paint Israel as racist and genocidal are meant to delegitimize Israel, to demonize the Jewish state, and to demonize Jews everywhere. And no wonder we've witnessed an appalling rise of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. My friends, whenever and wherever we see the scourge of anti-Semitism, we must unequivocally condemn it and resolutely fight it, without exception. And don't be fooled when the blood libels against the Jewish state come from people who wear fancy silk robes and speak in lofty tones about law and justice.
What the fuck?
Here's a case in point. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has shamefully accused Israel of deliberately starving the people of Gaza. This is utter, complete nonsense. It's a complete fabrication.
Come on, everybody in the
Israel has
audience
enabled
knows that's
more
true.
than
Or
40,000
not true.
aid trucks to enter Gaza. That's 500,000 tons of food. And that's more than 3,000 calories for every man, woman, and child in
You
Gaza.
have not let them open the
If
gate.
there are Palestinians in Gaza who aren't getting enough food, it's not because Israel is blocking it, it's because Hamas is stealing it. So much for that lie, but here's another. The ICC prosecutor accuses Israel of deliberately targeting civilians. What in God's
That's the international community.
green earth is he talking about? The IDF has dropped millions of flyers, sent millions of text messages, made hundreds of thousands of phone calls to get Palestinian civilians out of harm's way.
You know,
But at the
thousands
same
of
time,
text messages.
Hamas-
Like, how do they expect them to get the messages if they cut off the power? Can't charge your phone. And I doubt their phones have 18-month batteries on them.
Hamas does everything in its power to put Palestinian civilians in harm's way. They fire rockets from schools, from hospitals, from mosques. They even shoot their own people when they try to leave the war zone. A senior Hamas official, Fatri Hamad, boasted, listen to this, he boasted that Palestinian women and children excel at being human shields. His words, excel at being human shields. What monstrous evil.
That's
For Israel,
Hamas.
every civilian death is a tragedy. For
You
Hamas,
act like people are trying to say Hamas is this good fucking thing. No, they're just as bad as Israelis. All Palestinians aren't from Hamas, as the Republicans want you to believe. Liberals too. But it's not our war, not our fight.
it's a strategy. They actually want Palestinian civilians to die so that Israel will be smeared in the international media and be pressured to end the war before it's won. This would enable Hamas to survive another day and, as they vowed, to carry out October 7th again and again and again. Well, I want to assure you, no matter what pressure is brought to bear, I will never allow that to happen. The vast majority of Americans have not fallen
Yeah, I know.
for this Hamas propaganda. They continue
It's
to
on us
support Israel.
to fight
And I want
back.
to say thank you, America, and thank you, senators and House members who continue to support us, continue to support Israel, continue to support the truth, and see through the lies. But as for the minority that may have fallen for Hamas's cons job, I suggest you listen to Colonel John Spencer. John Spencer is head of urban warfare studies at West Point.
Oh,
He
West
studied
Point.
every major urban conflict. I was going to say in modern history. He corrected me, no, in history. Israel, he said, has implemented more precautions to prevent civilian harm than any military in history and beyond what international law requires.
Within Israel. Is that the rest of it? Is it within Israel, but not outside of it?
That's why, despite all the lies you've heard, the war in Gaza has one of the lowest ratios of combatants to non-combatants casualties in the history of urban warfare. And you want to know where it's lowest in Gaza? It's lowest in Rafah. In Rafah. Remember what so many people said? If Israel goes into Rafah, there'll be thousands, maybe even tens of thousands of civilians killed.
Oh, there was
Well,
thousands.
last week, I went into Rafah. I visited our troops as they finished fighting Hamas's remaining terrorist battalions. I asked the commander there, how many terrorists did you take out in Rafah? He gave me an exact number, 1,203.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I asked him, how many civilians were killed? He said, Prime Minister, practically none, with the exception of a single incident where shrapnel from a bomb hit a Hamas weapons depot and unintentionally killed 24 people.
Shrapnel from a
The answer is
bomb hit a depot.
practically none. You want to know why? Because Israel got the civilians out of harm's way, something people said we could never do, but we did it.
Get out. Oh, Marcha.
These heroes here today, the heroic soldiers of Israel, should not be condemned for how they're conducting the war in Gaza. They should be commended for it.
You should be condemned. That's the thing. They're following orders.
I want to thank all of you here today who forcefully opposed the false accusations of the ICC and stood up for the truth. These lies are not only libelous, they're downright dangerous. The ICC is trying to shackle Israel's hands and prevent us from defending ourselves. And if Israel's hands are tied, America is next. And I'll tell you what else is next. The ability of all democracies to fight terrorism will be imperiled. That's what's on the line. So let me assure you, the hands of the Jewish state will never be shackled. Israel will always defend itself. My friends, in the Middle East, Iran is virtually behind all the terrorism, all the turmoil, all the chaos, all the killing. And that should come as no surprise.
Because we
When he
gave them
founded
money.
the Islamic Republic, Ayatollah Khomeini pledged, we will export our revolution to the entire world. We will export the Islamic revolution to the entire world. Now ask yourself, which country ultimately stands in the way of Iran's maniacal plans to impose radical Islam on the world?
China.
And the answer is clear. It's America,
Oh.
the guardian of Western civilization
I mean, they're
and the
closer and
world's
bigger.
greatest power. That's why Iran sees America as its greatest enemy. Last month, we heard a revealing comment, ostensibly about the war in Gaza, but about something else. It came from the foreign minister of Iran's proxy, Hezbollah, and he said this: This is not a war with Israel. Israel, he said, is merely a tool. The main war, the real war, is with America. Iran's regime has been fighting America from the moment it came to power. In 1979, it stormed the American embassy. It held scores of Americans hostage for 444 days. Since then, Iran's terrorist proxies have targeted America in the Middle East and beyond. In Beirut, they killed 241 US servicemen. In Africa, they bombed American embassies. In Iraq, they supplied explosives to maim and kill thousands of American soldiers. In America, they actually sent death squads. They sent death squads here to murder a former Secretary of State and a former National Security Advisor. And as we recently learned, they even brazenly threatened to assassinate President Trump.
I knew it.
But Iran understands that to truly challenge America...
See? This is where it gets fun. This gets fun. We're supposed to start war with Iran. We gave Iran their frozen money back. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, they didn't use it towards what we thought they were going to use it to. My bad. So, Israel, we need to help fighting Iran. And then, magically, well, I heard that there might have been an Israeli, see? Iranian terror threat to assassinate the president. But it wasn't. It was just one lone wolf. One lone wolf. What about the second gunman up at the tower?
It must first conquer the Middle East. And for this, it uses its many proxies, including the Houthis, Hezbollah, and Hamas.
That is one of their
Yet
proxies.
in the heart of the Middle East, standing in Iran's way, is one proud pro-American democracy, my country, the State of Israel.
Your country, not ours. You are Fetterman. Have you gotten bigger?
That's why the mobs in Tehran chant death to Israel before they chant death to America. For Iran, Israel is first, America is next. So when Israel fights Hamas, we're fighting Iran. When we fight Hezbollah, we're fighting Iran. When we fight the Houthis, we're fighting Iran. And when we fight Iran, we're fighting the most radical and murderous enemy of the United States of
Oh, I thought you were
America.
going to say, well, we fight Iran. We
And
fight.
one more thing.
Hey, Laura.
When Israel acts to
Oh, look
prevent
at that.
Iran from developing nuclear
Look at that. Look at these two. Same picture. Got Anna and Lauren.
weapons. Nuclear weapons that could destroy Israel and threaten every American city, every city that you come from.
There's no nuclear
We're not only
war
protecting
threat.
ourselves, we're protecting
Period.
you. My friends, if you remember one thing from the speech, remember this. Our enemies are your enemies. Our fight is your fight, and our victory will be your victory.
You keep saying our like we're supposed to help them in this fight. Monetarily or equipment-wise.
Ladies and gentlemen, that victory is in sight. Israel's defeat of Hamas will be a powerful blow to Iran's axis of terror. Another part of that axis, Hezbollah, attacked Israel on October 8th, a day after the Hamas attack. It has launched thousands of missiles and drones against us. 80,000 of our citizens in northern Israel evacuated their homes, becoming effectively refugees in their own land. We are committed to returning them home. We prefer to achieve this diplomatically, but let me be clear. Israel will do whatever it must do to restore security to our northern border and return our people safely to their homes. Last Friday, a third Iranian proxy, the Houthis, attacked Tel Aviv with a deadly drone. It exploded a few hundred feet from the American consulate, killing one person and injuring 9. On Saturday, I authorized a swift response to that attack. All our enemies should know this. Those who attack Israel will pay a very heavy price. And as we defend ourselves,
with or without collateral damage.
and as we defend ourselves on all fronts, I know that America has our back. And I thank you for it. All sides of the aisle. Thank you.
You're welcome. We should be thanking us, because it's our money.
My friends, for decades, America has provided Israel with generous military assistance, and a grateful Israel has provided America with critical intelligence that saved many lives. We've jointly developed some of the most sophisticated weapons on earth.
So you don't need us.
I choose my words carefully. We've jointly developed some of the most sophisticated weapons on earth.
Like direct
that
energy?
help protect both our countries. And we also help keep American boots, we help keep Americans' boots off the ground while protecting our shared interests in the Middle East.
So why do we have boots on ground over there still? They act like we don't have boots on ground still.
I deeply appreciate America's support, including in this current war. But this is an exceptional moment. Fast-tracking U.S. military aid can dramatically expedite an end to the war in Gaza and help prevent a broader war in the Middle East. In World War II, as Britain fought on the front lines of civilization, Winston Churchill appealed to Americans with these famous words: "Give us the tools and we'll finish the job." Today, as Israel fights on the front line of civilization, I too appeal to America. Give us the tools faster and we'll finish the job faster.
You said that months ago.
My dear friends, the war in Gaza could end tomorrow if Hamas surrenders, disarms, and returns all the hostages.
Well, they did have a ceasefire that you shot down.
But if they don't, Israel will fight until we destroy Hamas's military capabilities, end its rule in Gaza, and bring all our hostages home. That's what total victory means, and we will settle for nothing less. The day after we defeat Hamas, a new Gaza can emerge. My vision for that day is of a demilitarized and de-radicalized Gaza. Israel does not seek to resettle Gaza, but for the foreseeable future, we must retain overriding security control there to prevent the resurgence of terror, to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to Israel. Gaza should have a civilian administration run by Palestinians who do not seek to destroy Israel. That's not too much to ask. It's a fundamental thing. that we have a right to demand and to receive. A new generation of Palestinians must no longer be taught to hate Jews, but rather to live in peace with us. Those twin words, demilitarization and de-radicalization, those two concepts were applied to Germany and Japan after World War II, and that led to decades of peace, prosperity, and security. Following our victory, with the help of regional partners, the demilitarization and de-radicalization of Gaza can also lead to a future of security, prosperity, and peace. That's my vision for Gaza. Now, here's my vision for the broader Middle East. It's also shaped in part by what we saw in the aftermath of World War II. After that war, America forged a security alliance in Europe to counter the growing Soviet threat. Likewise, America and Israel today can forge a security alliance in the Middle East to counter the growing Iranian threat. All countries that are at peace with Israel and all those countries who will make peace with Israel should be invited to join this alliance. We saw a glimpse of that potential alliance on April 14th. Led by the United States, more than half a dozen nations worked alongside Israel to help neutralize hundreds of missiles and drones launched by Iran against us. Thank you, President Biden, for bringing that coalition together. The new alliance I envision would be a natural extension of the groundbreaking Abraham Accords. Those accords saw peace forged between Israel and 4 Arab countries, and they were supported by Republicans and Democrats alike. We could call, I have a name for this new alliance. I think we should call it the Abraham Alliance.
What about the Abraham Accord?
I want to thank President Trump for his leadership in brokering the historic Abraham Accords.
Didn't Biden pull us out of it?
Like Americans, Israelis were relieved that President Trump emerged safe and sound from that dastardly attack on him, dastardly attack on American democracy. There is no room for political violence in democracies.
The democracy asked for political violence.
I also want to thank President Trump for all the things he did for Israel, from recognizing Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, to confronting Iran's aggression, to recognizing Jerusalem as our capital and moving the American embassy there. That's Jerusalem, our eternal capital, never to be divided again. My dear friends, Democrats and Republicans, despite these times of upheaval, I'm hopeful about the future. I'm hopeful about Israel because my people, the Jewish people, emerged from the depths of hell, from dispossession and genocide. And against all odds, we restored our sovereignty in our ancient homeland. We built a powerful and vibrant democracy, a democracy that pushes the boundaries of innovation for the betterment of all humanity. I'm hopeful about America because I'm hopeful about Americans. I know how much the people of this country have sacrificed to defend freedom. America will continue to be a force for light and good in a dark and dangerous world. For free peoples everywhere, America remains the beacon of liberty its extraordinary founders envisioned back in 1776. Working together, I'm confident that our two nations will vanquish the tyrants and terrorists who threaten us both. As Israel's Prime Minister, I promise you this: no matter how long it takes, no matter how difficult the road ahead, Israel will not relent, Israel will not bend. We will defend our land, we will defend our people, we will fight until we achieve victory. Victory over liberty, rather victory of liberty over
you hear that?
tyranny, victory of life. We will defend our land, we will defend our people, we will fight until we achieve victory. Victory over liberty.
Come on. How do you fuck that up? Think of, maybe I think too much. Maybe I don't. But Dave Matthews, I think too much. I drink too much. I smoke too much. Too much.
Rather, victory of liberty over tyranny, victory of life over death, victory of good over evil. That's our solemn commitment. And we will continue to work with the United States and our Arab partners to transform a troubled region from a backwater of repression, poverty, and war into a thriving oasis of dignity, prosperity, and peace. In this noble mission, as in many others, Israel will always remain America's indispensable ally. Through thick and thin, in good times and in bad, Israel will always be your loyal friend and your steadfast partner. On behalf of the people of Israel, I came here today to say thank you, America. Thank you for your support and solidarity. Thank you for standing in Israel, with Israel, in our hour of need. Together we shall defend our common civilization. Together we shall secure a brilliant future for both our nations. May God bless Israel, may God bless America, and may God bless the great alliance between Israel and America forever.
Well, that's Bibi meeting with our elected officials, Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, when we do the meeting with Biden and the Israeli Prime Minister, keep in mind, if you blink, you're going to miss it. This happened while I was recording.
Everybody in? Welcome. Well, welcome back, Mr. Prime Minister. We got a lot to talk about. I think we should get to it, but the floor is yours.
Mr. President, we've known each other for 40 years, and you've known every Israeli Prime Minister for 50 years, from Golda Meir. So from a proud Jewish Zionist to a proud Irish American Zionist, I want to thank you for 50 years of public service and 50 years of support for the State of Israel. And I look forward to discussing with you today and working with you in the months ahead on the great issues before us.
I look forward to it as well. By the way, that first meeting with Prime Minister Golda Meir, and she had an assistant sitting next to me, a guy named Rabin. That's how far back it goes. I was only 12 then. Anyway, thank you all for
Really,
being here.
12? Did protesters make it in there? Oh, that was real. That was real. That's fucking crazy. I think there was protesters in there trying to stop it. So it looks like later on tonight, it's gonna come on in 2 hours, but I'm gonna cut it soon. I guess Vice President Harris is gonna talk to him, but maybe that's gonna be 2 minutes, so it'd probably be a waste of time. We'll see. I'll think about it. Maybe I'll come in late after I view it. But no, we're not done yet. We're not done, by all means. But that was just weird how that I thought it was going to be a legit good time meeting. All of a sudden, it turned into chaos. They get protesters in there, like, were they members of the press? Or what? Your guess is as good as mine, so let's not speculate. Excuse me. Fuck, where is it at? Give me a second. So aside from protesters, this was our wrong one. Some of our elected officials, and they decided they had better things to do instead of talk to or listen to Netanyahu, like some of us in the world who actually at least listen to it. Whether or not you agree with the cocksuckers, I mean, at least listen. How are you going to know the difference of opinion? But this is our politicians.
Tonight from the Republican senator from the state of North Carolina, Ted Budd. Senator Budd, thanks for being with us here on the Hill. Appreciate the time. We await Donald Trump in this hour, President Biden a couple hours from now. But let's start with what's going on in your state. The last 11 elections, Senator, Republicans won 10. Only Barack Obama was able to flip it, and that was by 1/3%. Donald Trump going to North Carolina tonight. I hear the Trump campaign, Senator, saying we're on the offense, we're expanding the map, but this seems fairly defensive to me. Why is he there?
Look, North Carolina is tremendously important. It is a purple state, but we've consistently won it as Republicans. Let's remember 2016, Trump won it. He won it in 2020, and he's going to win it again in 2024. But you always have to put your work in North Carolina and explain to the people of North Carolina from all 100 counties what your value proposition is. I mean, we're looking at a candidacy in Vice President Kamala Harris that wants to take away your gas cars. She wants to continue the policies that have led to inflation and continue the policies that have led to fentanyl devastation and crime and an open border. This is a failed vice presidency, and now she wants to take it to the presidency. And
Okay.
she is a dangerous San Francisco liberal that's trying to win North Carolina, and it's not going to work. But we got to go out and remind North Carolinians about who Kamala Harris is, and that is a dangerous San Francisco liberal.
I hear your pitch, Senator. She's reportedly thinking about your governor, Roy Cooper, as her running mate. He hasn't lost a state. He's never lost a state there in your home, or never lost a race, rather, in your home state. If she taps Roy Cooper, doesn't that put North Carolina even more in play for Democrats?
No, well, they tried it with Al Gore, they tried it with John Edwards, and I don't think it'll work with Roy Cooper. So good luck with that. But again, they'll have to make their decision, and we'll wait and weigh in when she does make that decision.
You know, we saw
that Jewish governor or senator, whatever, from Pennsylvania. Is she now? Or is that senator going to be like, you know what? Fuck that. She didn't want to talk to the prime minister? What she's going to do today. But still, it doesn't matter. She was supposed to be in the background in that whole speech.
All the protests just down the road. Again, we've been listening to the sirens here outside our studio, just sort of whiz by as Bibi Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, was here in town speaking before Congress. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators here in town as well. I wonder what you think the stance for Senator Harris is going to be, Senator, when she gets asked about this, because this has been an issue, the issue really for Democrats that split the party. What do you expect to hear from her?
Well, she was supposed to be sitting there right next to Speaker Johnson. That is part of her constitutional duties, to be there for these joint sessions. But she was nowhere to be found. She sent a retiring member, a Democrat U.S. senator who was retiring from Maryland. So I think that's an absolute travesty that she didn't show up for the greatest force for democracy in the Middle East.
Yeah, J.D. Vance wasn't there, though, so a mistake for J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance will be meeting with him, I believe, tonight at Mar-a-Lago, and very soon at Mar-a-Lago. So that is on the calendar for him. It is a priority for him. He has a history, but we have anti-Semitism. We have weakness demonstrated by Kamala Harris. Look, we have shown real moral clarity on this, and so has J.D. Vance, and so has Donald Trump. Even Netanyahu gave a shout out to Donald Trump for the Abraham Accords, which had peace in the Middle East, and we've had nothing but chaos under the Biden-Harris policies.
Exactly 2 hours from now, Senator, we're going to hear from President Biden. I wonder what you want to hear from the commander-in-chief tonight when he addresses the nation. And would you agree with Kevin McCarthy, Senator, who says Republicans calling on Biden to step aside from his role are wrong and shouldn't do so?
What I can tell you is we need a real leader, and we need one quickly. And I don't see that with Kamala Harris, and I don't see that with President Biden. So we need to get to November 5th and then January 20th as quickly as we can.
All right, let me leave you with this, because there's a lot going on. Christopher Wray was up testifying up on Capitol Hill, Senator, the FBI director, earlier today about the events in Western Pennsylvania. But there was a moment where Christopher Wray was pressed by Congressman Matt Gaetz about the president's cognitive state at this point in time and what the FBI director has witnessed. Here was Christopher Wray. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
I mean the cognitive decline. I'm not saying he treated you unprofessionally, just maybe not picking things up as quickly as he used to.
Again, I don't meet with him very often, but what you're describing is not something that I've observed during my interactions with him.
All right. After that, Senator, Donald Trump then took to social media.
So, last night, they decided they wanted to protest. Well, actually, throughout the day and last night. And, they tore down American flags and burned them while at the same time raising Palestinian flags on all three poles. So, naturally, they had to clear their area out last night because everyone went home. And senators, sitting congressmen, to include Eye Patch McCain, which, hey, at least he's patriotic. Too bad he's part of the World Economic Forum. But they went out there and put American flags back up. This is patriotism. Whether or not it's fake for some of them, take pride in knowing that our elected officials will still go out there I don't know if they have Secret Service, because I don't think they do, but they also have cops. But at the same time, it's pretty cool.
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Woo! Yeah! Woohoo!
Nation, under God, indivisible.
I don't know, tell you how many times I've been able to raise the flag in the morning and take it down. Every night for a little while I was in school. And military schools. It's called privilege, which most people call it flag detail because technically it is detail if you think about it, but at the same time, it's a privilege to be able to raise and lower that flag, in my opinion. So it's flag privilege. I love this country. I love that piece of cloth, as they like to call it. But at the same time, those people that want to burn the flags, I mean, I don't like it. It'll anger me a little bit. But they're allowed to. They really are. It's the First Amendment. Don't have to like it, but it's there. Just like you can't, people were like, oh, we need to ban hate speech. Well, also can't do that. It's also free speech. Up until you start threatening, then it's not free speech any longer. My presidential philosophy. Remember, I'm a constitutionalist. Paleo-conservative, if you must. But I'm not telling you how to think, I'm just telling you to think. If I do come back on later today, it'll be because of Bibi, or, I don't know, depends what I find. But as of right now, everybody go off into the world, because I'm not telling you to think, I'm just telling you to whoa. Not telling you how to think. Just telling you to think. And go follow your regularly scheduled program of drama. But before we go, Donald Trump wants to sing us out. And hope y'all enjoy. See y'all in the next one.
Billions and billions of views. It's a great rap. Where's Tommy Donald? This guy's making so much money, frankly, he doesn't know what to do with it. Billions and billions of views. It's a great rapper, believe me, I would know. Frankly, as Trump the Don, I would know. Shout out to Tom, there he is. They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is. They graduated to your racism. You think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election. They got so offended by freedom that they just tried killing the president. I used to think that the world were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that I am not dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought you were tolerant, thought we were equal. I thought you valued how everyone feel. Why are you celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom and afraid of violence. You wish I was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock me up in a cage. Now you're trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed. Told us to trust the science, but it never made sense to me. Why would we put all our trust in an enemy? Millions of people, they're hooked on amphetamines. They're making billions on untested remedies. Borders are open to people with felonies. Biden can't stop them, he don't have the energy. You want to kill the man trying to fight for your better tomorrow like I am Don Kennedy? I tried to give you the chance, like maybe the left isn't nuts, I was wrong. Y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all of them. Wanna protest, go hard. Wanna birth facts, go off. But y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all terrorists when you're R. Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom and afraid of violence. You wish I was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all, they're going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock me up in a cage. Now you trying to kill